Hello there. Every time I see a picture of Raphael or Sarah, I think of this book. I don't know if any of the rest of you have loose teeth out there, but here goes. The name of this book is No Tooth, No Quarter by John Bueller and Susan Shade. Two tooth fairies were sitting on a branch. The small one was reading her report card. Dog tooth? Fail. Cracked tooth with fillings? Fail. Oh no, I'm failing. That means that I'm getting the lowest grade possible. I'm not going to succeed in school. Her friend patted her on the back. Don't worry, she said to the little tooth fairy. You'll find a good tooth soon. Oh, I better, she said. If I don't find a perfect tooth tonight, Queen Dentina will take away my wings, and I won't be able to go to the Decay Prevention Ball. That's a party that celebrates keeping your teeth nice and clean. So the little tooth fairy flew off to find a perfect tooth. Soon she came to a schoolyard. Some kids were playing a game with a ball. It's called dodgeball. Think fast, Walter, a girl threw the ball at the boy in the middle. He's supposed to move so it doesn't hit him. Walter jumped out of the way and missed, he shouted, but as he landed, he tripped and fell over a rock. Oh no, thought the tooth fairy. I sure hope he didn't hurt himself. Look, Walter picked himself up, smiling. My tooth fell out. He held it up and put it in his pocket. I'm going to put this under my pillow tonight. At last, whispered the tooth fairy. This is my lucky day. I'll follow him home after school. And that's just what she did. She waited outside his house until dark, and she watched the lights go out one by one. Soon there was nothing but a soft glow coming from one window. It was Walter's window. The tooth fairy flew in. She squeezed under Walter's pillow and felt around. But she couldn't find the tooth anywhere. All she found was a letter. The letter said, Dear Tooth Fairy, today my tooth fell out and I put it in my pocket, but my pocket had a hole in it. So I lost the tooth. I hope you can leave me some money anyways. My Ema says to tell you that I have been a very good boy. Yours truly, Walter. No tooth, the tooth fairy cried. Oh no. She flew up to Walter's chin. Maybe he has another one that's ready to come out. She grabbed one of Walter's teeth and gave it a big pull. Hey, yelled Walter. He sat up in bed. Wow, it's the tooth fairy. Did you get my letter? She nodded, but I can't leave you any money, Walter. Our first rule is no tooth, no shekel. And Queen Dentina is very strict about that rule. And then the little tooth fairy started to cry. This was my last chance to find a perfect tooth. Now Queen Dentina will take away my wings. But that's not fair, Walter said. It's not your fault that I lost your tooth. Why don't you just explain it to her? Oh, you don't know Queen Dentina, the tooth fairy said. I'm really scared of her. Well, I'm not, said Walter. I'll tell her. Well, all right, said the tooth fairy. I'll try anything. And she waved her wand at Walter. Whoosh! He got smaller and smaller and smaller until he was as small as she was. Wow! Come on, said the tooth fairy. She grabbed Walter's hand and they flew right out the open window. They zipped down a hole at the bottom of a tree. They flew through a long, winding tunnel underneath the ground. At last they came out in Tooth Fairyland. Oh, it's an underground world, said Walter. Isn't it beautiful, said the Tooth Fairy. We grow all of our own food here, and we make even our own clothes. The only thing The only thing we need from you is a little help with our houses. Walter looked at all the gleaming white bricks on the houses. Fairies were brushing them everywhere. Wait a minute, the bricks are teeth, said Walter. I was wondering what you did with them. Look, they're cleaning the houses with toothbrush and toothpaste. Well, here we are, said Queen Dentina. Here we are, said the Tooth Fairy. This is where Queen Dentina lives, in the Ivory Palace. They went through the gates, and inside there was a long hallway. At last they came to the throne room, and there was Queen Dentina. What's this? She shrieked. A boy? This is Walter, said Walter's Tooth Fairy. He lost his tooth. We don't want him, said the Queen. We just want his tooth. Well, she means that I can't find my tooth that fell out, explained Walter. It disappeared, but I really did lose one. You can see the hole. Walter opened his mouth wide and pointed to the Queen. I suppose you put your tooth in your pocket, said Queen Dentina. Well, yes, said Walter, and I suppose that your pocket had a hole in it. Well, yes, said Walter. And now you want money anyways? No way! Do you think you can get something for nothing? Go away! All right, he said, but I just wanted to tell you that it wasn't the Tooth Fairy's fault, and he turned to go. Wait a minute, said Queen Dentina. What beautiful purple pajamas! These are what I need for my decay prevention ball, my party. I will give you 5 shekels for those purple pajamas, and forget about the tooth. No way, said Walter. These pajamas are worth a lot more than 5 shekels, and besides, I would catch cold. Stop, cried Queen Dentina. I want those pajamas. Seize him. In came the soldiers. Walter ran, and the little Tooth Fairy ran too. The 2 soldiers chased after them, and in the distance, Walter could hear Queen Dentina screaming, Get those purple pajamas! Get them now! I need them! I want them! Then the Tooth Fairy caught Walter's hand, and up, up, up they flew, away from that palace. They went back through the tunnel, and back out the hole in the tree, and back into the open window of Walter's room. Now Walter was big again. He was in his own room, and he was still wearing his pajamas. The Tooth Fairy was so sad. Tears were rolling down her street. She cried. Hey, said Walter, what's the matter? We made it. You saved me. We got away. But what about me, said the Tooth Fairy. Now I can't even go home. Hey, I have an idea. You can move in with us, said Walter. My parents are really, really nice. Said the Tooth Fairy. All right. Let me think of something. No, he said. Where are my scissors? He opened his desk. Here they are. Well, I am much bigger now, Walter said. Right, the Tooth Fairy agreed. And my pajamas are bigger too, right? The Tooth Fairy agreed. Well, then watch this. And he snipped off the inside of his pocket. He handed it to the Tooth Fairy, and it was as big as she was. Do you think that will make Queen Dentina happy? The Tooth Fairy smiled. It's perfect, Walter. Thank you so much. Walter climbed back into bed. Will you wake me up when you come for my next tooth? He asked sleepily. Sure, said the Tooth Fairy. Only try not to lose it before I get here. It's a deal. Then Walter fell fast asleep. He didn't see the Tooth Fairy tap her wand under his pillow. But the next morning, he found 5 shekels there. And as for the little Tooth Fairy, she had a wonderful time at the decay prevention ball, and Queen Dentina gave her all A's, Mitsuyan, on her report card. The end. Well, I don't know, Raphael and Sarah, did you put your teeth under your pillow when you came? Did a tooth fairy come and get yours? I don't know. Bye-bye, everybody.